is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So I'm filming this on Sunday morning. This is right after the full moon in Sagittarius. Now I recognize that that was already a couple days ago or so, but you know, that energy lingers. So I am really curious to know how you're feeling. What's your word of the day? What's your word of the week? What's the general vibe where you're at? Now, I think there are some interesting things going on astrologically of note, and that is, of course, everybody talking about Jupiter in Gemini. And so this is going to be for the next year, and Jupiter is a lovely energy because it brings growth and expansion and good luck. So we're soaking that all in, especially with Jupiter in Gemini. Now, look at this. Preparations come to fruition. This card just popped right out. So I love this. I mean, look at this net here, almost like catching all of the good luck. So there's a sign for us right off the bat as I'm shuffling these energies. Now, I will say that the full moon in Sagittarius was, I think, a pretty good moon. I think our full moon Zoom that we had on Friday night was filled with very consistent messages, and I can report back telling you that it was all about receiving, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, even when sometimes it's awkward to receive, allow yourself that moment. You don't have to distract yourself and try to take over or immediately try to give back. You know, it's not about that. You're allowed to shine. You're allowed to have your moment, even when you feel uncomfortable receiving. So, you know, I would say continuing that energy, because we want those things coming to fruition. We want to receive. If you're not open to receive, how will you receive them? You know, it's amazing. We want all these wonderful things to happen to us, you know, but do we really allow it? That's the question. Okay. So let's take a look at the overall themes and messages for this week. We have Horned Cactus. My goodness, I always giggle when I see this card. Resourcefulness. You're very resourceful. And actually on live last night, we were laughing about the Moonology card that has the cactus. If you know the one I always refer to, there's two cacti. There are these cacti that are you know, pointing up to the universe, you know, and I always laugh. It's like giving the finger to the universe, because who likes to have patience? So interesting that the first card I pulled today is, you know, Horned Cactus. You almost can't make it up. But it is telling you that you are resourceful. You have everything you need. The question is, again, are you able to receive the fruits of your labor? And interesting, voice. Are you communicating your needs? Are you communicating your needs? You've got to use your voice. You've got to be very clear so that it can come to you. Oh, excuse me as I'm hitting my camera here. I wanted these Moonology cards. Let's take a look. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Yeah, okay. So look, we're ending old things, and we have to allow them to end. I think that's part of it too, right? You know, are you actually able to let things go? And the first observation that I had actually when I saw these two cards was they're green, and green is the heart chakra. We're talking about matters of the heart here. And, you know, looking at this, actually, we don't want a prickly heart. You know, we don't want to have, you know, thorns that say, don't come near me, you know. And I think sometimes that's the vibe, you know, where we want this love, but then when the love comes our way, we're so afraid of it that we push it away, or that, you know, we have this energy that says, you know, I'm protecting myself. And so maybe as an alternative to, you know, being a little prickly, maybe just use the voice, use your voice and speak your needs. And if somebody is willing to respect that, then wonderful. And if they're not, well, then you know it's not your person, or you know it's not your situation. It doesn't even have to be anything romantic here. I just think that in general, you can't keep yourself held back forever. Okay, it's about putting yourself out there, using your voice, and letting old cycles end. Okay, so that being said, let's take a look at the energies day by day. and seeing what we need to know. Let's take a look at Monday. Animal totems, animal energy, and powers. This is actually really interesting to me personally. I actually haven't mentioned this because I didn't know this last night when I was on live on Instagram and on TikTok. That one of my cats, Jimmy, has a little mini issue with his eye at the moment. And, it's kind of worried me. And I'm wondering if anybody else has anything going on with their pets right now that they're concerned about. But animal totems or animal signs, they mean something. Every animal has a spiritual meaning. And so, you might want to look it up if you're coming across, for example, a fox. You're on your walks and you see a lot of foxes running by, or you see a lot of squirrels, or you're seeing bunny rabbits. They all represent different things. And so this is saying on Monday, animal energy and powers. Here's a thought. Somebody mentioned this to me not long ago, and I'm curious your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe that your pets, your animals mimic your energy and ailments? Like, do your pets have things that are similar to what you're going through? But yeah, animal energy. Okay, so let's take a look at Tuesday. Justice, harmony, and solutions. Okay, this is Libra energy. So this is balance. This is equal giving and receiving. This could be legal matters. This could be contracts, paperwork, essentially harmony. Okay, let's take a look at Wednesday. Emotional desert, inactivity, and isolation. It's a number 11 card, which is all about brand new beginnings. What I find interesting actually about this energy is that we're trying to restore balance to our life, right? We're trying to address the emotions that maybe have been stuffed down, or protected. Because, here's an observation here. Just let me make a point, and that is because you can't totally see it on the camera. There's this little, oasis here, this little pond, these trees and this lush green. And I'm thinking about the green that's in these cards. I see the sun shining in. The sun is warmth. It's yes. It's forward motion, and then you've got the desert, which is of course dry and isolated and alone. And it almost feels like we need to be in this energy here, where we're open and it's the heart. It's the heart of the desert, so to speak. That's why I'm saying, we've got to use our voice, and we've got to basically be resourceful to get through the isolation or the inactivity. Something I've been asking a lot lately of people is, are you isolating yourself? Are you holding yourself back? Are you in a bit of self-preservation mode? Okay, let's take a look at Thursday. And we have here talent guides, spirit mentors, and teachers. And I love this because this is about creativity and things that you enjoy. I almost feel like this is a message telling you to get out of the emotional desert of the numbness or the fear, and just do things that you love. What's something that you just love to do that you stopped doing because life got in the way? And I'm not talking about things that you do for other people. I'm talking about things you do for yourself. And as an example, sometimes people will say, well, I love cooking and I love baking. I love cooking and baking for other people. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. I think cooking and baking is really fun when you're doing it with love, of course, right? But sometimes those are things that are for other people more so than yourself. What are the things that you love doing for yourself? Now, if there's something you love to cook for yourself or bake for yourself, then absolutely do it. But I'm just saying, what are the things that you love to do that you stopped doing because life got in the way? This is telling you to pursue that. Now, let's take a look at Friday. We have here sensitivity and strength, tapping the forces within. This is the point. You know, I'm going to just make a statement and you tell me if this resonates or not, or maybe come back to this video at a later date just to sort of verify, or maybe you are watching this at a later date. I don't know. But whenever you see white feathers, they're like signs from past loved ones, you know? And I think that this is kind of a reminder to you, possibly from somebody who may have passed, to go back to the thing that you're most passionate about, that they knew you were so passionate about. This could be a parent, a grandparent, a very close friend, or a partner, spouse who's passed, reminding you to live, tapping the forces within. You are resourceful. Tap into your voice. Maybe you love to sing. Maybe it's time to let go of some grief that has been haunting you for a very long time. It could even be a pet who's passed. You know what's really interesting? Actually, this is going to sound crazy in a way. Before I came on here today, I had some pictures pop up on my phone, like memories. And one of the pictures, pardon me for sharing, was a picture of my cat Gretchen in November, just after she had passed. And the vet was lovely. It was, you know, an in-home visit where the vet put her to sleep and wrapped her in this beautiful purple regal blanket, and she looked so beautiful. She didn't look sick. You know, you would never have really known that she was not with us anymore, but her body was absolutely beautiful. Sorry for the detail, but it was something that I maybe needed to see this morning, you know, to remind me of her, because I am worried about my other cat. Maybe it's just her telling me that she's with me, or that she's helping. Because I did ask for guidance, you know, before I went to sleep, because I got this message kind of late in the night, you know, time difference, 6-hour time difference. So it was still late evening when I got this message. You know, and I started thinking about it. Oh my goodness, his eye is wet and teary, and there's a little bit of blood. Poor kitty. Anyway, sorry for the details, but you know, this is reminding you as a generalization that you have the forces within you. You have the ability. You have the strength to make it through whatever right now might be scaring you. Okay. Wow, deep talks for a Sunday. Let's take a look. Okay, so that was Friday. Let's take a look at Saturday. Connections, partnership, contract, commitment. Oh, wow. Number 29 again. Interesting how we talked about 29 in the relationship reading. Maybe that's a connection, no pun intended. And there's the green. Look at the green of that little oasis, the green of the crystals here, the green on the cards, even the greenery here. Like you're protected divinely. Wow. And the light, you know, the coloring is so, it's beautiful. Are you willing to let love in? Are you willing to let help come in? I just love this reading already. This is really interesting. Okay, let's take a look at Sunday. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, confusion. Past, known, unknown, future, perhaps, maybe. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? I don't think there's any other card that could encompass my are you in the old, are you in the new? Many choices and uncertainty. You know, many people like their comfort zone, even though it's not comfortable. They don't really like it, obviously. But you know what I mean? There's comfort in something you know, and then there's fear in things you don't know. But how do you know until you cross that bridge? You know? And yes, you have many choices. But remember, not making a decision is making a decision. So this is very interesting energy. It's like all of a sudden, like you're almost willing to allow something, and then boom, you get this bit of doubt in your mind, or this overthinking. Goddess of Dreams, Vision, Intuition, and Receptivity. So this is the card for the sneak peek for the upcoming week. Wow. How many of you are having very vivid dreams? I know I am. But I just want to remind you of what it says on this card. Receptivity. Are you receptive? Are you willing to receive? Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful reading so far. Okay, let me grab the tarot. And I was going to use a different deck, but I want to use the Chakra Wisdom Tarot because it has the colors of the chakra on it. And I'm really curious to see what will come out. Let's go back to Monday with the animal totems. You know, animal power and messages. 9 of Coins, feeling good in your own skin. When I look at this this woman here, and I look at the woman here, I just see a connection in these two. And interesting, 2 + 7 is a 9. 9 of Coins. This card is orange, which is Venus, the sacral chakra, self-worth, self-respect, you know, self-value, putting yourself out there, feeling good in your own skin, finding that balance. Let's see what we need to know. The 7 of Wands. Are you on the offensive? Are you on the defensive? Are you ready? And look at the coloring here as well. This purple. Are you ready? Are you ready to stand up? Are you ready to address some of the things that have kept you held back? Look at the colors. We're getting these matches. 10 of Wands, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted, emotional desert. Some of you are just completely emotionally wiped out and afraid of putting down the burdens. I mean, you want to put down the burdens, but there's always that fear, you know, of like, what am I going to worry about when I have nothing to worry about? You know, that is a real fear for people, because if you're programmed to always being in some sort of worry or some sort of situation, not having that means things have to change, right? So let's take a look at Thursday here, about doing what you're passionate about. Yeah, what are you passionate about? This is like from the heart. What do you love to do? What adventure do you want to go on? What's the spark? What's the creativity? The early stages of something new and exciting. And then that feather, you know, that strength. Oh, and love. Wow. You're getting maybe like a synchronicity or just a sign, like I said, from a past loved one, or something in regards to a deep soul connection here, or a decision in love. Maybe, you know, this could be one of two things, really. Maybe you're making a decision in love where you might have to leave something behind, you know, and be open to the new. Or this is about actually allowing a love in. You know, remembering your values, standing up for yourself, putting down the burdens, being creative, doing what you're passionate about, allowing the love in here. And the connections, yeah, you know, you're going to have to grieve the old. There's something here about grief. Disappointment. You've been disappointed in the past. You felt the grief. Okay, let's take a look. Many choices, uncertainty. Judgment. It's a wake-up call. It's like the sounding the horn, like do 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 do. Like, what are you gonna do? You know, wake-up call. And receptivity. Let's see. Oh, there we go. What is it? Very curious. Look at it's. Oh my goodness. You know, you cannot make this stuff up. In this card, there's this yellow light here. You know, she's receiving, and look at, there's the abundance. 1010 could be an angel number that you're seeing. So that is really beautiful energy. Let's take a look at the oracle cards. Brand new weekend. Look at the orange. Look at the... You know what? In all 3 cards, I know it may be hard to see this, but like, it's the same color. It's the orange. It's believing in oneself. Wow. This is a very deep reading. Okay, so 7 of Wands, stepping stones, process of arrival, finding balance, going towards your balance, step by step, spiritual growth, progress. Takes time, but it's coming if you want it to. That emotional desert. Oh, interesting. Putting down the burdens. So, okay, here's the thing. Again, this could be a relationship that one is leaving, but it can also be a commitment to self, or allowing oneself to be committed to another person. That's reciprocal, right? We want something that's reciprocated. The Hermit, you know, this card's been coming up a lot lately, and the Hermit is about searching your soul and finding enlightenment, But you can't stay in hermit mode forever, and that's my whole point. It's time to do the things that you love. Put yourself out there, see what happens. What are you truly passionate about? And, well, there's the Lion. Leo energy, self-esteem. We talked about that. Self-worth, self-value, self-respect. You know, being heart-centered, overcoming difficulties in love. And it's hard when you've been disappointed or there's grief there, right? There you go. You've got to let go of the burdens. This is a good omen, the albatross. It's a good omen. It talks about monogamy. But you've got to let go of the baggage, the burdens, the feeling cursed, the guilt, the shame, the regret. Because otherwise, what do you have other than, you know, a prickly cactus here that protects itself? So let's see. The Judgment card, this wake-up call, yeah, be in the present moment. This is what it's telling you. Be in the present moment. You're resilient. Lift yourself out of negativity. Feel lighter, happier, stronger. And the 10 of coins, that abundance. Okay, here's the thing about the mountain. I just want to make a point here. And this is going to tie things up really beautifully. Now, at first glance, the mountain can be seen as an obstacle. It's not, you know, necessarily a happy card, because there's an obstacle, there's a problem, distance, solitude, pride, block, cold, indifferent, barrier, interruption, delays, and stubborn. But here's the thing that people, you know, neglect about mountains. Mountains are an achievement. It takes work to get to the top of the mountain. Process of arrival, step by step, day by day. Look, no mountain is impossible. No situation is impossible. And I think that a lot of people get really down on themselves thinking, I can never work through this. I can never make it happen. Yes, you can. It just takes real slow progress. Like, you can't change anything overnight. You know, I invite any of you who have been through a really tough situation where you've come out the other end a lot happier. Did it happen overnight? Did you fix that problem in a day, in a week? And this is the thing about healing. You know, we talk often about, well, how long does it take to heal? And I think we just want this instant gratification. And true healing is not something that even happens in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It takes time. And it all depends on how committed you are to that healing or to that change. But recognize that anything is possible, right? So to me, the biggest obstacle is ourselves. And I've been saying this a lot lately in my live sessions on TikTok and Instagram, and even talking with my friend Miro recently that many of you watched. And that is, we often are the common denominator. I mean, we often get in our own way. Why do we do this to ourselves? You know, because we're afraid of actually achieving something that could be wonderful, because we don't know what happens next. We're worried that if we get that happiness, it's going to be taken away from us, you know, or if we've never had that feeling before, we just simply don't know what it feels like. We just don't know. And it's very hard to know until you get there. And that's why we do this predictive programming, where we just assume something's not going to be what we want, even though we really, really want it. Right? If we're honest with ourselves, right? We want that happiness. We want that love. So the question is, are you getting in your own way of receiving? Wow. Like I said, deep thoughts. Okay, so before I go, let me just take a last bit of guidance, but I got to move my cards in order to do that. And let's just see. Thinker. Somebody's overthinking. Somebody's overthinking. There we go. There's the answer. Here and now. Look at, there's the again, we had the card that showed all the different like signs in the different directions. You know, somebody's thinking about the past, thinking about the future, and not making a move. Not making a decision is making a decision. So understand that 44 angels are with you. Everything's going to be okay. You just got to make a decision. Are you ready to receive? Wow. I want to see what it says on this card. It says something, and pardon me. I think it says, we are here. Interesting. Okay. Oh my God, look what's at the bottom of the deck. Yin energy. There's the cup to receive. There's the answer. There's the answer. Are you ready to receive? Well, I really hope this resonates with you. Such a deep reading. I appreciate you all so, so much. Thank you always for your kindness and support, your likes, the comments, the subscribes. It means the world to me. So thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing week.